Hey! In today's video we want to share our experience of growing up in Estonia, a country where almost all local people speak Estonian, but we spoke Russian. And we were not a minority here. There is many people whose native language is Russian, and especially in Tallinn and northern eastern regions like Ida-Virumaa and Narva. So, to be more precise, I asked AI, and it told me that 27% of the Estonian population is actually a native Russian speakers. But this is a large number, and here we are.
I was raised in Pirita, a district where Estonians are more common to meet, and since there are many private houses, I didn't get much experience talking with my neighbors. But when I was a child, our neighbors in our semi-detached house were Estonians, but they moved out. Our new neighbors were Russians, and we communicated with them more.
And I grew up in Lasnamäe, the most Russian-speaking district in Tallinn. And well, we both went to Russian school. We had Russian friends, and our family members were speaking Russian. So yes, and even so, we still managed to learn Estonian, and now can freely speak to Estonians, express our thoughts freely and different topics.
So how did we manage to learn it? Easy. Well, I could say that, but the path was long and sometimes even challenging. It all started when we first went to school. Since we both attended the same Russian kindergarten, we didn't know Estonian at all.
Yes, and when my mom was choosing a school for me, I begged her not to put me in an Estonian school. Why? Because I was only 7 years old, I didn't know any Estonian language at all, and I understood that it would be harder for me to study there because I wouldn't be able to communicate with other kids, to understand what teacher wants from me. And of course everyone experiences that when they first come to a new school, but without knowing a language it's 3 times harder. Since my mom still wanted me to know the national language, she put me in a special language immersion class, I would say, and where teachers spoke only Estonian. Classes were also taught only in Estonian. But since it was still in a Russian school, other kids also spoke Russian, so it was still easier than other options like an Estonian school. And even with that, I cried a lot during my first days because I didn't understand anything that my teacher wanted from me. One of the solutions that I used was to ask my classmate what teacher asked from me, because well, there were some students who knew a few words, so it's better than nothing, and actually it worked for me.
As for me, if I remember correctly, my parents also considered an Estonian school, but since my older brother and sister studied in the same Russian school, they decided it would be better for me to join them. That's how I started in a language immersion class as well, just like Christina, but in a parallel class. And I don't remember if I had any troubles with that. I guess I had some friends who I was talking with, so I even don't remember if I had troubles with studying.
Well, I also gained some friends just from the beginning of my studies, because it was still like a kindergarten, they all spoke Russian. That wasn't a problem. The problem was studying there for me. I didn't know anything, so...
Me too, but I don't remember.
When teacher said to me, shut up, but in a more polite way, I asked my classmate, what did you say? So yes, it was funny.
I guess so.
And within 3 years, I improved my skills significantly, and even if my language was still limited, I still managed to attend summer camps, Estonian summer camps, and even find friends there. So yes, when you're a kid, it's not that bad and difficult.
And like you, I was quite shy about speaking Estonian because I felt my skills weren't good enough and I was afraid of being judged. So I had problems speaking with native Estonians, even if I was little and child.
Oh.
When we started our 4th year at school, some classes began to be taught in Russian. As understood, it was because certain subjects, which are usually harder to learn, are easier to understand in your native language, but I'm not entirely sure. This steady growth continued until we started gymnasium, because the language level and the classes were on a new level. And I think we both saw how important it was for our teachers to make sure we learned Estonian well. That's when I fully understood that I have to know Estonian if I want to live and work here on the same level as others.
Me as well. And as for me, during those years, I also gained a valuable practice through the Tallinn Youth Summer Work Camp. It's called Tallinna Malev. And I felt that with the right people, the language barrier just disappears, because even if I mainly just collected the berries there, I still had to communicate a lot with the Estonian teenagers, because this was still a camp where we had a lot of activities after work. So yes. And next year in summer I worked in H&M. It was my first experience working in customer service, and by then it was no problem for me to speak 2 or even 3 languages, because English is also, I would say, widely used here, especially in Tallinn, and I was well prepared for that.
And I also had Estonians in my sport club with whom I could practice. This helped me overcome my fear of making mistakes. And the summer job was also a big step forward because, as like Christina, I mostly worked in customer service.
Yes, and to conclude, the language level that we had by that time, by the end of gymnasia, was thanks to our school teachers, and the fact that we were brave enough to try new things, to not be afraid of talking to people we don't know, and especially in Estonia, where most of the people are pretty introverted. Currently, we are studying at Tallinn University of Technology, maybe better known as TalTech. And guess what I've noticed? I feel like my Estonian is worse now than when I graduated from my school. And it's just because I don't speak it every day. And I don't need to discuss complex questions like who is better, God or people, I don't know, or what is the soul to us, or other philosophical questions. But in school I also had some different subjects which were still taught in Estonian, like geography, biology, and Estonian, of course. So now I just feel that I speak Estonian 3 times less than back then.
However, I have noticed that my Estonian is better now. I speak more freely, confidently, so the experience can be different for everyone.
That's true. Totally true. So, were we bullied by Estonians because of our native language?
My general answer is no.
Oh no!
I always felt supported when I spoke. People understood me, or at least tried to understand me.
Well, sometimes they didn't understand me.
Yeah, me too.
Huh?
But you know, when they didn't understand something, they just asked. Now too, they just ask you, can you repeat please? That's all. So the main goal was not to judge me, it was just to understand what I want to say. However, I did have some unpleasant experiences, and I remember all of them. Yes, and that's because when you're truly trying to achieve something, then any criticism is actually hard to bear. And one time, when we were walking in Pirita forest during our PE classes. Well, we were still students in our school. I suddenly lost Marita, and I just decided to scream. And then an elderly man came closer to me and said, "You must go to prison, Russians."
Really?
Even though I'm not Russian, and she's not too, so he didn't care.
Yes, like we were born here in Estonia and we have been in Russian only one time.
Yeah, and he said that like several times. I was just a student in school. I was a school girl. Come on, like
he just don't
it's
care.
terrifying.
He just don't care who we are.
Yeah.
He just wanted to say something rude to us for no reason. I'm glad such experiences are rare for me, and I hope you too.
Yeah.
But I regularly see comments on social media under videos of people speaking Russian, telling them to leave the country or stop speaking Russian at all. In normal schools or companies, it's rare to encounter discrimination based on your native language. And at my previous and current workplaces, I haven't had any problems at all. Everyone communicates on equal terms.
Yeah, me either. It wasn't a problem for me. If you're well educated, then you don't say some shit.
Yeah. You don't even think about that.
Yes. I think it works in every country.
I hope so.
Even if, as we said before, those cases when someone insults you because of your native language are rare for us, I read some topics from our local news portal called Delphi, and you can find those cases pretty often, I would say, if you read it. And for example, there was a situation where in a healthcare, a doctor decided not to give help to a patient because of his language.
I don't know if you know this, but I don't speak Russian!
So even if doctor knew Russian language, he decided that he won't help that person. There was another case, as I remember, when ambulance actually acted the same. And well, now I don't know what is the current situation right now, because as I said before, I only heard that from news. But I know that how government reacted. Government said that it is not acceptable, that the healthcare should be accessible to everyone, to every people, every resident. So yeah, I just hope that this situation
Will be better.
Yeah, I just hope it will be better. Yeah. So another topic that I wanted to discuss was how we're different from Estonians. I see it this way, that we have a lot of common with usual, I would say, Estonian people who speak Estonian as their native language, but we have still some differences, and we are similar with Russian-speaking people from Russia too. I noticed that a big impact is media. So because of our different media sources, Estonian people, when they were little, they watched Estonian cartoons. Right now they watch Estonian television. But we, as Russian-speaking people, even living in Estonia, most of us watched Russian TV. I mean, Russian television. We knew Russian stars. Right now we watch YouTube channels where people speak Russian. That's why sometimes it's hard to communicate with Estonians when we want to share some thoughts about, I don't know, current situations with bloggers, with TV stars, because we have different TV stars, different bloggers.
But actually, what I have noticed that earlier I thought Estonians are watching more American movies or something international, because they don't have Estonian entertainment. But as I heard from Estonians, they don't know what is Nickelodeon or Cartoon Network or
Some of them know.
the channels what we were watching our whole childhood. And that was really interesting for me. I was interested what way were watching this time because I don't know a lot Estonian cartoons.
I actually know, and I had some Estonian television programs which were only in Estonian language and Estonian cartoons, but I didn't watch them because I had other options. I had the Russian Russian cartoons. I had also English cartoons, and it was enough for me. So, but yes, I agree with you on that point that they maybe know more about American shows. Sometimes I feel like there is no such thing as a home for me. Because we're always somewhere in the middle. We're not from Russia, but we're not Estonians for 100%, so yeah, it's hard. So that is why it's not that hard for us to move to another country. Yes, we still need to learn new customs, new habits, still some homesickness,
New mindset.
new language. But some people say that the hardest part of moving to another country is that you will never feel like you're equal to other people. But here's the thing, I don't feel like I'm equal with Estonians
Or Russians.
Yeah, I just always somewhere in the middle,
Yeah.
because my home is not connected to some country. It's more people who are around me.
Yes, and I feel there's no reason to be scared of moving somewhere you don't know how to act, because you can just study how to do that correctly, and maybe we will find ourselves there better than even here.
Yeah, maybe that will help people who are now thinking of moving to Estonia. You shouldn't be afraid of that feeling that you're not equal, probably, because even if Estonians treat you as an equal, you still will face differences, I think. You can still be friends with them, your colleagues and other people. Yeah, but thank you for
Watching this video.
yeah, we just hope it was informative for you, and maybe it will encourage you to learn new language, or if you're thinking of moving to Estonia, as I said before, then you can do this.
Subscription, likes, comments, please. More.